Hello, everybody, and good to be here. All right, so I welcome you. This is actually our January webinar. Due to one circumstance or the other, we were not able to bring it, but I'm happy it's coming your way now. All right, so we're going to be looking at quickly how to create your family values. Now, this is one of the foundation of intentional parenting. This is kind of like the roadmap that gives direction to members of the family on the way that you are going. Okay, so it's important that we begin to create our family's values and let every member of the family begin to know where the family is going to, the direction the family is going to. That is why this class is very important. So this is a guide. This is actually a guide to help us, navigate the path that you are, we're taking in this intentional, parenting. So I want to start by defining and giving examples. So what are family values? They are principles, standards, and morals that a family holds dear. So what are the things that you hold dear? And these things that you hold dear, they guide behavior, they guide the decision, and how family members interact with each other. So you hear people say that, oh, I don't like people that tell lies. So it means that honesty is your value. Okay. All right. So, and if honesty is your value, it means that you yourself will not be found telling lies or supporting someone telling lies, because it is what you have that you will give, right? Okay. Then we have some few examples. There are many, but this is just an example to guide us. And as we look around this thing, begin to also walk around it in your own mind. Examples of values: we have respect, honesty, integrity, kindness, responsibility, truthfulness, love, and so on and so forth. The list is endless, actually. So these are some examples of values. So what are your values? What are the things that you hold dear? What are the standards that you live by? So if punctuality is your value, then it means going to work, going to church late will not be, your thing. Okay. All right. So why are family values important? Why are family values important? Now, one of the things I have come to learn in intentional parenting is helping my children understand the why of whatever we are doing. So that is what you owe your children or your family members, helping them to understand the why, the importance. Okay. So why are family values important? Number one is that it provides a sense of identity and belonging. So it makes your children have, this sense of belonging that, I've heard my children once or twice say things like, no, we don't do that in our family. Or this is how we do it in my family. And, the first time I heard that, I was so happy. So it got me, to know that my children are learning to internalize, the values that our family holds dear. Okay, so it also guides decision making and behavior. So when members of the family knows what obtains in the home, yes, it will guide what they do. It will guide how they behave. So you cannot be saying one thing and doing another. You will not be helping your child if you do that. Okay. So it means that we as parents, we are leaders. So, and because you know that your action and inaction affect how your children see life, you will be guided in how you behave, you will be guided in the decision you make. So if you have a value of decency, for example, it means that you cannot dress anyhow because your children will be looking at you. So in our home, we have the principle of, the dressing decently. We are royals in our home. So as royals, we are not expected to dress and expose our body parts. So my children already knows this. Whether you are a boy, whether you are a girl, you are royalty. And as royalty, you must dress as one. Now, when your children internalize this, or family, people in the house, family members, I like using the word family members, when they know these things, it will guide the decision of how to buy the things they buy, the things they wear, the places they go to. These values are what will guide them. So you don't need to be shouting, "No, follow bad friend, oh, don't do this or don't do that." No, the values are what will guide, your children, because you don't need to follow them, pursue them all around. Family values promote positive behavior. Do you want your children to behave well? Yes, I know you do. Then reel out your family values and let everybody know about it. The Bible says, write the vision and make it plain. So it is not enough that you know it in your head. Every other member of the family should know, and it should also be in their heart. So if you come to my house, you will see my family values in the parlor there in our sitting room. Okay. So it helps in positive character development among family members. So when family members are, displaying some kind of characteristics, you want to ask them, is this what, does this portray the way we behave in this family? So you cannot see, my children putting on a bomb shot on the street. No, it's not possible. Why? Because we are royalties and we don't expose ourselves. Okay, so they would begin to develop positive character behavior. Okay, it helps negative challenges and conflict. So when negative behaviors are beginning to arise, conflicts are beginning to arise, what do? You remind your family members of the values that are, you hold dear. So when there is conflict, what do? I tell my children, sisters talk about things. Family members discuss issues. We don't fight about issues, we discuss issues. So when one person is coming to report to me, "Oh, mommy or daddy, this person do this person did that," I ask them, "Have you talked about it with the person?" Okay, so it helps with, conflict management and negative behavior. All right, so with family values, you're able to pass the traditions that are peculiar to the family to the next generation. Okay, culture is a way of life of a people. Okay, so if it is a culture, it's a tradition in your home to respect elders, then you as you begin to do it, your children begin to learn it from you. Then you unconsciously and consciously pass it to your children, and it goes, to the next generation also. It also fosters resilience and adaptability. Now your children may fight some of these things from beginning, because especially if they're already grown, even if they are young, it's not going to be easy for them, because probably it's not been your way of life. So it's going to take some time for your children to get used to it. All right. And it's going to teach the skill of adaptability. The children are going to learn to adapt. Okay. All right. Let's move on. What are some of the things to consider when you want to craft your family's value? You want to look at different aspects of your family life, okay? You want to look at different aspects of your family life. First of all, you want to look at your family characteristics. What are some things you want to consider here? Family spiritual beliefs. What are your family's spiritual beliefs? What are your beliefs about God, about spirituality, about spiritual matters? So you want to put that into consideration. So, like for us, one of our family's value or our vision is to serve God, is to love God and His Word. Yes, that is it, is to love God and His Word. So the children already knows that this family is a family that loves God. Okay, so you want to put that into consideration. Then you want to look at your personal goals and values. What are the things you as a person want to achieve? What are the things you want your children and other members of the family to achieve? You will put all those into consideration before you craft your family's values. Okay. Now, you also want to look at the size and your family dynamics. So, the size of the number of persons in your home, whether you have a large family or a small size family, you want to put all those into consideration. Then your religious or spiritual beliefs. Okay, that is kind of a replication. Your religious or spiritual beliefs. So you want to put all those into consideration before you craft your family's values. Okay, then your family's lifestyle. So you want to look at your work-life balance, because it is not, you're not just going to just put anything there. No, as you put it down, you must think of how family members will, exhibit those standards, those characteristics. Okay, so look your life, your work, your school, your peculiar family dynamics. You want to look at all those things. Then your health and your wellness. You want to look at that. How 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 healthy are you to be able to carry out these tasks? What do you want family members to achieve in terms of health and wellness? So you want to look at that. Then you want to also look at leisure and recreation. So they said there's a saying that all work and no play make Obi a dull boy or makes Ada a dull girl, right? Okay, so you want to put that into consideration. How do you want family members to have how do you want family members to recreate? What are some of the leisure activity you want to put into that? So you want to look into that. Then financial management. You want to put finance into consideration also. Yes, you plan it according to the level where you are. If you continue to say, oh, no money, no money, no money, you may be losing out on some important factors. So look at financial management. What are some of the things you're going to be buying? What are some of the things you're going to be doing, to push your family's value according to your budget, according to the level where you are? Okay, so put all those things into consideration. Then family priorities. So you want to look at relationship with immediate and extended family members. How do you want family members to interact? How do you want family members to relate with each other? Mm. You see some families, everybody is just doing their own thing. Everybody is just going their own way. Except that is, the type of family that you want to create, then it's okay. Okay, then you want to look at communication in the family. How do you want your communication style to be? Aggressive, peaceful, loving. How do you want it? So put that into consideration. So you know your family and you know what you want for your family, okay? Their responsibility and accountability. How are family members going to take responsibility for their action? You know, one of the tasks we did some days ago is, helping your children to know, or I don't know whether we're going to do it, how their actions affect another person. Okay, so I want to look at how family members are going to take responsibility and how family members are going to hold each other accountable. Okay. Then also, you want to look at family goals and aspirations. What are the short term goals you want to achieve? What are the long term goals you want to achieve? Educational goal, parenting goal, financial goal, family 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 relationship goal and all those things. So you want to look at that also. What are the things you want to achieve? So you want to look at that, okay? Then also community involvement and giving back. How are you going to be involved in community development? How are you going to give back to the society? One of the things I'm teaching my children is volunteering. I remember back in the day when we were in one of the denominations, they always talk about volunteering. When I was going through this, I was like, wow, that congregation, intentionally, brought that out. So when you're doing it, it's a good thing to do. You are rendering acts of service. You are doing something good, okay? So you want to look into that, how you're going to do it. So this community involvement, there are simple things you can do. It can be as simple as helping to clean the environment where you live, not waiting for anybody. So you and your family can come out, okay? Let's volunteer, let's clean our community. So you do your immediate environment. You're doing that can also spur other people to come and do the same thing. Okay, so you want to put that into your family consideration. If you're an old uh, 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 exclusive member of the Nurturite Circle, you will find out that we have engaged in this volunteer activity. So you can even volunteer in the church, you can volunteer in your place of work when they're looking for somebody to do something, you can volunteer and you want to teach your children to do this. This is now, rendering help selfless service, okay? Then also the another area you want to look at is family value statement. Now, how are you going to craft your family value statement? What are the sentence you're going to use, to talk about your family? That is what that means. So that statement should be clear and concise, means short, okay? It should not be uh, uh, so elaborate, so something simple. I'm going to tell you mine at the end of the day. Then you want to ensure that your family values statement is speaking positive and empowering. It should be positive and it should be empowering. It should have the tone of positivity and empowerment. And also it should be inclusive and respective. The language should be inclusive and respective. And also there should be room for reviews and revision. Now, putting your family value statement is not a cast in stone activity. So when you put it there, as your children grow, as your life evolves, you are going to be needing to review your family value and to make changes. And that is where adaptability comes in. Remember, we saw adaptability before. So that is where it comes in. And as your children moves from one stage to other, you don't expect them, things to be the same when they enter their teenage years and when they were in their preteen years. So these are some of the things that you need to consider when you want to craft your family's value. So I will need you to take time to go through all this so that you know what is expected of you and so that you can understand it better. All right, so these are some questions you should ask. You should ask yourself before you craft your family's values. What kind of family do you want to raise? Do you want to raise supportive family, entrepreneurs, entertainers, educators, value givers? What type of family do you want to raise? So for me, for my home, for my husband and I, we are raising royalty. Okay? So all the things that we do revolves around how a royal family should behave. Okay? So once in a while, when we're watching our documentary, we watch things on the royal families and we talk about them. Okay, so and because I am raising royalties, I make them know that they can royal people don't talk anyhow, royal people they don't walk anyhow, royal people are hardworking. So when I was telling my one of the days we were just talking, and my children were telling me, princesses they don't wash plates. I said no. In this family, royalties princesses, princes takes care of their home. They won't wait for another person to come and take care of their home for them. Okay. So we talked about it and, we learned about it that in this home, the royalties we are raising, they take care of their home. So, what kind of family do you want to raise? That will determine the things you will do. So, if you are raising entertainers, for example, nothing is wrong with raising entertainers. You want to now, groom that child, in that area. Okay. So, determine the kind of family you want to raise. What core values are important to you and this type of family you want to raise? Okay, so look at all this. What core values is respect going to be? Is respect going to be a type of things that will be found in this family? Is respect what core values are important to you and this type of family that you are raising? So if you're raising entertainers, entrepreneurs, you will be guiding them in that direction. Okay, so that is why these things are important. Okay, then what are the non-negotiable rules and expectation for your family? All right, so these are the things that will guide, the type of family that you are raising. Now, if you are raising entertainers, if you are raising educators, if you are raising royalties, then there are some non-negotiable rules and expectations that must happen in your family. Okay, so I am raising royalties, for example. So one of the non-negotiable rule and expectation is that royalties in this family dress like royals. And how do royals dress? They dress coveredly. That is the language I used to use. They dress to cover their bodies. They don't expose their body parts. It's a non-negotiable rule. Okay, and you insist on it. Okay, then also, what are some special traditions and rituals that will help drive your family's values? What are some traditions you need to be doing in your home? So, once in a while, we have the tradition where family member comes together to have dinner. Okay, and I'm learning to, serve the food like royals. We are not there yet. So, one of the things we learned is that, family value is important because it will help shape the decisions you make. So now I'm thinking of how I will get, all these plates, dishware, all this ware that will help us have that royal feel when we are in our dining. Okay, so these are some special traditions, and our dresses sometimes will show that royal heritage. Okay, so we're working towards that. So, whatever type of family you want to raise, there are special traditions and rituals that you will do to drive them. So, another tradition, special traditions that we do to drive our family values is we do bedtime stories. We do bedtime stories, okay? And also, you'll now also look at how will you review and revise your family's values and traditions. Please give me 1 minute. Okay, welcome back. So, what are some how will you review and revise your family values and traditions over time? So, as my children begin to grow, as my children are growing, I begin to see that, okay, some of these rules we need to improve on it, some of these things we need to change it or we need to add, okay? So, that is what we do. Then, please note that these you need to reflect on these questions before you can craft your family's value. You need to go over them. You need to think them through. If your children are older, then you need to go have a meeting with them where all of you talk about these things. Okay. All right. So let's move on. Now, want to look at you crafting your family's value now. Okay, so what are some of the things you should do? List out 10 values which are important to you and other family members. What 10 values are important to you? List them out. Please get your intentional parenting notes and list them out. So maybe take from your children. You want to discuss it, give them examples, then let them you can start by even asking them what are some of the things they don't like when they interact with people. Okay, they will tell you. So when they tell you, you can begin to help them, communicate. Okay, that means you like this and that. Okay, so you add it to the list. Now, after making at least a 10 important ones, you want to define the values as it relates to your family's everyday life. So if education is your family's value, then you want to define what it means. So if in our home we have a value of continuous education, so it means that in our family we must follow the educational process. It means that everything that has to do with continuous learning is what we will be engaged in. It's what we'll be involved in. So, for example, now in my family, education is a compulsory thing in my family. So because education is important, we will not just do our education anyhow. We follow the educational process, and that includes not skipping class. Okay, so I started educating my girls. They're in primary 3 now. I started educating them right from when they were in primary 1, when I got this awareness that they are going to follow the process. Nobody's skipping class in this family again. Yes, I skipped class. And, then I really didn't know. It was when I became intentional that I began to see, understand some of the challenges I had while I was in school. My son also, I skipped class for him, and I saw how he struggled. I've shared with us in the academy how my son struggled when he got into secondary school because we skipped the process and we followed the crowd. So we have learned our lesson, and I have tried to bring my husband in to help him understand why it is important for us to follow the process. Okay. All right. So use your core values to create your family value statement. All right. For example, you can say our family values honesty. And because our family values honesty, we are encouraged to always say the truth. And for this, mom, and for every other value, it begins with you, the parent. It begins with you, the parent. Is that okay? Then we strive to create a truthful and supportive family environment. So we're still looking. These are under the core values. Use creating your family value statement. So if honesty is your family values, then you let every member know what the things you believe in. We believe in being true to our words and our action. That is being honest. We strive to create a truthful and supportive environment. Okay, so it's going to take you time, but you will get there. Okay, now after making a list of the 10 values, select 3 out of the 10 values. You don't need many values. You know, I had up to like 7, 8 values before now. So, but as I began to grow, I saw that some of them were I replicated some of them. So look out through all the 10 values that you have listed and pick just 3 that the family members are going to run with. You don't need too much. In fact, sometimes some persons will tell you pick 1. So we can start by picking 3. Then as you begin to grow, you begin to get understanding of this thing, then you begin to, work your way around it. Now, after selecting, you will now establish rituals and routines that will enable family members imbibe the values. So if honesty is your value, what are the rituals and the routine? Number 1, you will encourage members. In this family, we believe that people make mistakes. And when you make a mistake, feel free to come to mom or dad. And mom or dad, when they come to you with their mistake, you will not crucify them. Otherwise, they won't come again. Is that okay? All right. So create a ritual, create a routine that will help family members to imbibe your family's value. Create a mantra for the family based on the value peculiar to you. So when we talk about creating a mantra, I've tried to use some of them in, to teach us. So I say things like family members help each other. So you find in the mornings when we're getting ready for school and work. So after when my girls are dressing up, they'll come and meet me to zip their dress or button their uniform. I said, no, you have a sister. So family members help each other. Sisters help each other. So you see this one asking the other one, come and help me zip my dress. The other one will not be doing what I don't know. This thing children do. It can be really so funny. When someone needs the help of the other one will start making younger. I don't know if you understand what we're talking about. The other one will start making younger and be doing forming one kind of business. I said, no, tell your sister to help you. Sisters help each other. So that is a mantra I created for that. Okay. Then also, I also created the mantra of we are royals. Royals are responsible people. Okay. So you create a mantra, you create a kind of, a quote, kind of, to enforce that value that, you want family members to hold. Now, hold your family meeting and discuss your family values with your family members. So hold your family meeting and let them know, okay, we've chosen three values, and these are the values, and this is how we want to, display it. Then make a plan of how you will remind family members. So your children or family members are not going to get it once. So you have to just psych yourself up, that I need to always remind them. So we are not going to catch you saying, I told you, in this family, our value is honesty. So you must be honest. No, or sir, that's not how we're going to go about it. So you're going to just psych yourself up that it's going to take a while. It's going to take time for your family members to get it. So you are going to act as the bridge that will help them get, that thing onto get it. I just told you that, I've heard my children say, we don't do like this in our family, or in our family, this is how we behave. It took us a while to get there, and they've still not gotten it. Okay? All right. So make a plan of how you will remind family members. You're not going to shout about it. You are not going to beat about it. You are going to create a plan to help them remember. Okay? Even the Bible says, Jesus speaking, always remind us, truly, verily, verily, I say unto you. And you find that over and over in the Bible. Even God knows that as humans, there is the tendency for us to forget. So he reminds us, okay? All right. So do not beat yourself when you can't meet up. It takes time. It takes time. It takes commitment. I have been in the intentional parenting space now for 5 years. And I can tell you that it's a process. It's a process. In fact, the first year, I've told you, the first year I got into the academy, everything was sounding so strange. But eventually, I got it. All right. Now, print and paste your family values. So you have an assignment, you're going to write it out, and you are going to print it. So you want to go into the internet and do more research and come up with your family's values. So if as in the process you can, you have questions, you can ask, okay, and I'll be glad to help you. So I want to say thank you for being with me on this call. I hope that you got a thing or two. I will see you in the academy. Thank you very much, and do have a great day ahead. Bye-bye. So if you have any question, so please feel free to ask, okay? Please feel free to ask. So thank you and bye-bye.